government. But that does not really mean running a pro-poor government, you ignore other members of society. We cannot really live in a society side by side with people who don't have toilets, people who don't have electricity, people who live in conditions that are actually outside human rights culture. And unfortunately, we have some of the so-called human rights organizations that are hell-bent on ensuring that our people live under those conditions. Us as a multi-party government, we committed on running a pro-poor government that addresses inequality and poverty and provide meaningful address to our people. This matter is not negotiable. We need to really make sure that we deal with this inequality, this obvious inequality in our society, and ensure that we bring meaningful redress in our communities. Thirdly, we wanted to create a culture of enhanced service delivery with pride. How we were going to do this was to create and establish a professional public service. And I'm glad that we are beginning to see results. Results, we see it from JMPD. I remember when I took over this administration, the perception out there of the JMPD. Today, JMPD, without any doubt, it's the most respected police service in the country, without any doubt, by far. And I challenge anyone to do a study to compare JMPD with other agencies, including SAPS. JMPD is far the most effective. Why? It's because we provided leadership, create a culture of people understanding that you operate, yes, we understand and appreciate you, operate in a very trying circumstances, but you've really demonstrated to our people that you are there to really serve them. Yesterday, we witnessed the opening of the M2 bridge. Took a difficult decision sometime last year to close the eastbound part of the M2. A few months later, had to close the westbound. Ended up with both parts of the freeway closed. JRA gave me the commitment that they will deliver this by end of October. Everything else is history. We delivered that. Monday morning, our residents, including our visitors in the city of Johannesburg, will begin to use the freeway M2. Something really very rarely happens in government, that you can deliver a big complex project like that, deliver it on time, deliver it on budget. Earlier this year, we completed a 1.2 billion rands Sebenza substation, 1.2 billion rands project. We delivered that project with a 50 million rand saving. 50 million rand saving. We are now in the process of procuring our emergency and fire engines, the biggest in the country, unprecedented. Next week we'll be receiving further trucks. When we look at, when we originally planned this, when we took over this administration, some of the trucks were budgeted to pay up to 16 million rands a truck. But when we started shopping, making sure that we get value for our residents, those same trucks, we get them for 2.8 million rands. That is what we call actually creating a professional public service. And I hope that the city will continue on the trajectory on ensuring that all of us, more especially the officials, your role is to serve government elected by the people. Your role is not to serve a political party. You serve a political manifesto of political party or parties elected by the people. 5 was to create an honest and transparent government that fights corruption. I made it clear, and I'm unapologetic about this, that corruption is really one of the cancers that I personally hate. Because corruption, it is through corruption that our country failed to deliver on the mandate of what government is supposed to do. Here in the city of Johannesburg, with the establishment of GIFIS under the leadership of General Sibia, we're sitting with roughly 35 billion rands of corruption, over 6,000 cases. We are still battling to get prosecution of those cases. We are not going to give up on this. Whether I'm a mayor or not, or I'm an ordinary citizen of this country, these cases will eventually, they are going to eventually come to the courts. There's going to be consequences that I can assure people of this country and the world. Whether I'm a mayor or I'm an ordinary citizen of this country, these cases will eventually come to the fore, because there's just no way that we're going to allow corruption to eat out our moral fiber as society. And I really urge you, all of you, as public servants, please continue on that fight. Number 6, to create a city that responds to the needs of citizens, customers, stakeholders, and businesses. This is very important. Government role, it is not to be everything to everyone. I think government's role is to create a conducive environment for society to be able to operate. Some of us will want to be police officers, some of us want to be business people, some of us engineers, accountants, and so forth. Government's role is to create that conducive environment, and it's up to us to use our God-given talents. It's not about government deciding who must go into business with someone else, deciding what role people must play in society. Government must just really be there to really guide society. So when we operate, put together our budget and our programs, what we do is we respond to what's happening on the ground. And our constitutional framework is such that when we run government, we must run government on the basis of the IDP, listening to the people on the ground, so that when you put together a budget, put together a budget that talks to the lived experience of other people, not what you as politicians think. And that's something that we inherited. For 22 years, government operating on the basis of what politicians wanted to give society, instead of what was happening out there in our communities. That's why we ended up with a city taken over by criminal elements. That's why we ended up with over 200 informal settlements. That is why we've ended up with a total breakdown of law and order, including open borders. How can you ever build a country without borders? Because once, as a country, you ignore borders, that means then we're not a country any longer. You can't have a country without borders. And this is an issue that our communities have been raising. And they keep raising every single day. But we, as a multi-party government in the city of Johannesburg, committed ourselves to respond to the needs of our people. We listen to them. Our programs, our budget actually respond to their needs. And that is what we will continue doing. Number 7, enhance our financial sustainability. Without money, you will not have this building. You will not have the police force, you will not have the JMPD, and the resources needed for you to be able to execute your responsibility. This I took it as one of my priorities, that we need financial sustainability of our city. And I'm glad that we've been succeeding in this regard. I'll be issuing a press statement within the next day or so, just to really give you an indication of how we have actually improved in this regard. And this is not something that happened by chance. This happened because we put in measures in place, we put in a professional public service. If I look at the finance department and I look at corruption, I'm sure for some of you in the media remember very well, I once called a press conference to really release GFI's work. The number one area that was captured was our finance department. Totally dysfunctional. But we had to take tough decisions to ensure that we put in people who are prepared to work for society and understand that public money is public money. It is not government money. It does not belong to political parties. It belongs to the residents of the city of Johannesburg. That's why we introduced that Buyamthetho. That is helping us enormously in ensuring that we collect money that is due to us. A shame. A shame. Very embarrassed. Are you guys and fellow South Africans aware that we've lost our prime real estate in the country? That land where the Gautrain station is, we've lost that piece of land. We donated it. Basically, we gifted it. The real prime land in this country, when land is such an emotive matter that politicians can give it as a gift to politically connected people. Chances of us getting that land are almost nil. I think I've had to get a different legal opinion how one can save that land for the residents of the city of Johannesburg and South Africa. Unfortunately, fellow South Africans and residents, we've lost that land. But we will pursue people who've made the decision to donate this land to criminal syndicates. We are not going to give up. We will pursue civil claims against them to ensure that ultimately, whether it's going to take 6 months, it's going to take 6 years, it's going to take 60 years, but eventually people are going to be held accountable to ensure that we get the money that is due to our people. Number 8, encourage innovation and efficiency through the Smart City program. You know, it's something that is very embarrassing for me. You know, when I took over this administration, for some of you who are in Macon, the City of Johannesburg IT infrastructure was run by someone with HR experience. No experience whatsoever in IT. Within my second or third mayoral committee meetings, I started questioning this to say, what the hell is going on here? How can IT of a big organization like this be run by someone with with HR experience? Today I'm glad that we've worked tirelessly, we've worked hard, we had to take tough decisions, and I think I'll learn to keep repeating tough decisions, because for us as a nation to succeed, we need to take tough decisions, unpopular decisions. We need to take decisions of a long-term nature. And that's really what this government committed to do. Whether unpopular on a short-term basis or not, we are prepared, and we are prepared to take those tough decisions. So today, our IT department is run by professional people. And the tragedy about this is that if you challenge anyone, look at all the IT contracts before this multi-party government took over administration in August 2016. Literally all the contracts were corrupt. Literally corrupt. All of them. and we expected to run the administration. But I think for me was a deliberate action to ensure that there's chaos, because criminals always survive in an environment of chaos. Criminals survive in an environment where there's no rule of law. So they wanted to obviously create chaos, because then it gave them an opportunity to loot. But we've closed those gaps, and we are busy closing them going forward. The last one was to preserve our resources for future generations. Colleagues, as we operate, more especially I'm asking you as the leadership of JMPD, as you get into your uniform, before you even leave home, please just bear in mind the responsibility that you carry. Before you leave home, as you are having a shower or a bath or whatever, as soon as you put in this uniform, you are carrying immediately a huge responsibility. Huge responsibility, and I believe, and I'm sure it's part of your training. You have the responsibility to ensure that this country survives and survives for the future, for my children, for your grandchildren and their grandchildren. And you are the first line of defense. If police in any nation, if police fail in their duty, that nation is doomed to fail. So you have to understand and carry this responsibility as individuals, because it starts with an individual. If you do anything that is going to compromise your profession, you're not just compromising your profession, you're compromising the future of the country, you are compromising the future of your children. So you're carrying a huge responsibility. For that reason, I took this decision that let us share on a monthly basis, share our crime stats with our nation, take them into confidence with our limited competency. And Chief Tembe will share with you some of the challenges. Last week, Tuesday, we were in Parliament to present to Home Affairs portfolio how dysfunctional Home Affairs is, how it is compromising our country. And we'll give you the stats. And what actually hurts me and hurts most of South Africans is that some of these criminal elements that we arrest, be South African or foreign nationals, some of them, we arrest them 2, 3, 4 times. So you can imagine, I think, for you as police officers, how you feel. You arrest someone for a serious offense, and 2 days later, the same guy is back on the road in our streets. This is something that I believe as South Africa, we need special attention. And it does not really appear to me that the current national government is serious about fighting crime and bring back the rule of law. I'm not convinced. They have to convince me otherwise, because I don't believe what people say. I've learned, my grandfather and my community taught me to believe what people do than what they say. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm totally convinced that our national government is not serious about bringing back the rule of law in this country, which is a pity. Because if they're not serious about this, then we must not be surprised today if rating agencies paint a bleak future and prospect for our country. But I think with men and women like yourselves in the JMPD, keep up the good work. Keep up saving our country. Do it for your children. Do it for your grandchildren. And we're prepared to really work with you going forward. Thank you very much. Let's give the floor to Chief Tembe to really give us and take us into confidence what work that you've been doing and being exposed to in September of this year. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Mr. Mayor, thanks for those kind words, and welcome to our Buyamteto JMPD performance. MMC, welcome and thanks for those encouraging and motivation words. To the media, welcome, and we want to thank you for your monthly support on what we're doing. To the commanders, JMPD, we would like to thank you and good morning to you. I won't waste time, I'll go straight to the presentation. This presentation somewhere, because this is our quarterly, we have submitted our quarterly report. Some of them I'll take you from July, August, September and see whether we're winning or not. Now let's start with Midrand Deep Sleuth. The commander there is Mike Smith. Drunken driving operation has done 4. He arrested 53. Crime prevention 106 operations that was done. Arrest on different assault, hijacked vehicles, reckless and negligent driving, possession of stolen property. We have arrested 4. Operation Nightlife, that means churches, people who are making noise, nightclubs, barking dogs and all those. On the, is this, let me come to this operation. Impoundments, in fact. Impoundments for vehicles, for illegal dumping is 2, and other vehicles is 10. It means it's impounded 12. Yes. Citation that were issued, that means the fines, is 1,169, and discontinued notices is 23. Service delivery protest in Midrand Deep Sleuth, we have dealt with 4. Deputy Director Chocho, that's Randburg and Rosebank. Driving under the influence of alcohol, we have done 11 operations, arrested 92 people. Crime prevention, arrest 1 for drugs and 1 for stolen goods and illegal firearms, that's 2. They have impounded for illegal dumping 0 trucks, but other vehicles we have impounded 5. Citation 1,681, discontinued notices 19, it means the disc has been taken, the vehicle was not roadworthy. Service delivery protest was 0. Region C performance, that's Road Report, Cosmo City, Clearwater, Acting Deputy Director Murubati, who is doing very, very well. He's just a commander, but he is doing very, very well. Drunken driving operation has done 5. Arrest for drunken driving 62. Crime prevention tri-band operations, that's 65. And he has arrested 2 for fraud, 3 drugs, stolen vehicle 2, reckless and negligent driving 2. He has impounded 8 trucks. In fact, he has impounded 8 vehicles plus 3 skip bins. Illegal mining trucks that has been impounded is 8. He has impounded TLB1 and other vehicles 16. Well done, Mrumbati. You are making us proud. Citation 2,540. Discontinue, we never discontinue anything, but service delivery, protest and land invasion, he has done 2 for the month of September. Region D, performance at Soweto, Deputy Director Khanyaho. Drunken driving operation has done 10. He arrested 215. That's a number. 215 in Soweto for drunken driving. He has done operations, crime prevention operation, that's roadblocks, these ones. Yeah, assault 1, escape from custody 1. Operation Nightlife, that's nightclubs, churches, dogs making noise. 6. Yes, impounded 36 vehicles for illegal dumping. As you can see that in Soweto we have taken that stance that there's a lot of illegal dumping, and thank you, Didi Khanyago. Citation 3,474. Discontinued notices 18. Service delivery and land invasion in Soweto, that's 4. Region E, Directors Bia, Alexander, Santen, and Bramley. Drunken driving operation has done 6. Arrest for drunken driving 90. Crime prevention roadblocks operations is 90. Arrest 1 for assault, stolen vehicles 2. Reckless and negligent driving is 4. Nightlife operation has done 49. He has impounded 12 vehicles for illegal dumping, and other vehicles 6. Citations issued, that means fine, 3,798. Well done, Didi. Discontinued notices 40. Service delivery protest in Santen, Alexander, and Bramley 0. Inner City, Didi Machete. Operations drunken driving 8. Arrested 104. Crime prevention 49. Arrest in the inner city. Assault GBH 4. Business robbery 7. Theft out of motor vehicle 2. Possession of stolen goods 4. Reckless and negligent driving 3. Operation Nightlife has done 4 operations. He has impounded 14 vehicles for illegal dumping. Citations issued 2,424. Discontinued notices 77. Bad buildings raided 18. Homeless people removed 190. Thank you, Didi Machete. That was a good stat. Remember, I was mourning last month pertaining to Region F2. Deputy Director Nkosi has improved tremendously. Drunken driving 9 operations, arrest 102, crime prevention 60, arrest assault 1, burglary for business is 1, operation nightlife 5, impoundment of vehicles is 14, citation 1,086, discontinued notices 24, service delivery protests and land invasion 7. Region G, Acting Deputy Director Quinica, I hope is here. Drunk and driving operation 6, he has arrested 87, crime prevention 37, arrests for negligence, reckless and negligence 2, operation nightlife 4, he has impounded 44 vehicles. Remember, we had a problem, especially at Lenesia and Edale, about illegal dumping. Well done for that. Good job. Citation 1,786. Discontinued notices 50. Service delivery protests and land invasion 7. One will realize that Lenesia, we have Orange Farm and Edale. We've got a problem with the land invasion, and our resources are mostly spent in that area. Performance of recovery unit, these are our breakdowns. Vehicle impounded 20, number plate investigation unit, and impoundment of those vehicles is 348, total vehicles 368. So total vehicles in the pound at the moment, we've got 2,026. Tracing. Tracing is the bus that is being dreaded. Whenever you pass it, that noise when it gives you that you're owing some fines. Roadside checks, they've done 70. Number of citations, 489. Number of stopped vehicles, 8,706. Number of vehicles screened, 3,492. Driving under the influence of alcohol, it's 145. This 145, Mr. Mayor, is the EBET, evidential breathalyzer alcohol test. So that machine, so we go straight to court. It doesn't have to take blood. So they've done 145 on that. Accident attended, it's 8. The freeway, JACA, crime prevention, 97. Number of citation, 2,838. Number of vehicles stopped on our freeway, 4,127. Number of people searched on our freeway, 867. Drunken driving arrest, 83. Hijacked stolen vehicles, 1. Fraud, 3. Robbery, 1. Unlicensed firearm, 1. Vehicle recovered, 6. Impoundment of vehicle on the freeway was 31. Vehicle discontinued, 47. Accidents on our freeway, as I've said, so it's a concern to us, 223. This month we had 7 fatalities only on the freeway. I think compared to 19, I think it was 19 last month. The previous presentation was 19. This month is, I think it's this month is only 7. I think we need to push it until we reach 0 on our freeway. Special Patrol Unit, the arrest that they've made, suspect arrested, this is Superintendent Scheller, is 13 this month. But here I tried to work it out from July. You look at July, they've arrested 1, and then the following month, 5. After I've spoken to them, then they have arrested 13 for the previous month. So it shows a great improvement on Special Patrol Unit. The vehicle impounded in July, they only impounded 2. After I had a word with them, they increased to 52. And now they are at, last month, it's 99. Accidents that they've attended is 13 in July, 22, and then 12. Now with the citation, when one look at how the unit can perform, when they've got good leadership, citation in July was 286 for the whole month, our Special Patrol Unit. And then we had a chart, they came to 540. For last month, the citation that they issued, Mr. Mayor, is 928. So it shows the improvement of the units that we're having. Well done, Superintendent Scheller. Again, here we've got Rea Vaya. Rea Vaya, they arrested 2 suspects in July, and then 6 in August, and then 5 in September. They dealt with the protests, that was 1 in July, and then 4 and 4 the previous month. They discontinued 16 vehicles last month compared to July, that is 3 and 7. Vehicle impounded for driving in Rea Vaya was 4 in July. After we had some chat, 77 following month, and now they are at 97. Now, I'm very proud of this unit. It shows that they are coming up, they are coming to the party. Accidents they've attended accident on Rea Vaya, 30 in July, and then 37, and then 22. Because the enforcement, you can see the accident on Rea Vaya buses lane is reduced. The citation was 1,506. They went to 2,135, and they went down, but much better, to 1,583. Well done. It's led by the lady, Acting Superintendent P. Mate. The dog unit. With the dog unit, suspects arrested. In July, they've arrested 30. August, 67. September, 35. So our first quarter on arrest was 132. Only K9 unit, or other known as a dog unit. They have recovered 3 firearms in July, August 15, September 25. Firearms recovered. Hijacked vehicles. July 13, August 52, and then September last month 46, a total of 111. Ammunition recovered 16 July, 145 August, 525. That is in September. Well done, our K9, we're proud of you. That's 686 for quarter one. Quarter one, July, August, September. Well done, we're proud of you guys. JMPD task team, Techie squad. This Techie squad is the one that is IAUC, the one that are dealing strictly with CCTV cameras. In July, they arrested 45, in August 69, and then in September 31. Since its inception, we have arrested for the quarter 145 crime committed in the inner city based on our CCTV cameras. They have recovered in July 6 firearms, August 5, September 1. Total that of firearms recovered for the inner city was 12. Hijacked stolen vehicles, 12 in July, 15 in August, and then 7 in September. Total is 34. Ammunition recovered, 46. July, 59. August, and then in September, 4. The total of ammunition, 109. I want to stress this. In most cases that this unit is doing, they are doing it on their own, with no assistant anywhere whatsoever. So it's what they've done as the unit. Now, there has been an outcry about illegal dumping, and I promised last time that we need to establish a unit that will deal with illegal dumping. Mr. Mayor, the same Superintendent Manyama, who is in charge of the task team, we have increased the officers by 20 so that every day they deal only with illegal dumping. So they've been in operation as from the 6th of October this month, and they have already impounded 32 vehicles, of which 13 have already paid their fines. So I want to say well done to Superintendent Manyama for making us proud. You can see most of these vehicles, they are not being impounded because of the illegal dumping. The fine, I want to make this one clear, the fine for illegal dumping in terms of our bylaws, the tariffs, is 10,000 for illegal dumping, 15,000 second offense, and then 20,000 for the third one. But the trucks that are being impounded, they are impounded in terms of Road Traffic Act. Most of those trucks that are being used to do illegal dumping are not roadworthy. They have got no disc. The drivers, most of them, have got even no licenses. But that's another fine that is done. It's in terms of the National Road Traffic Act. We are not impounding for illegal dumping. Illegal dumping has its own. It's in terms of our bylaws, Mr. Mayor. The performance of electronic law enforcement This one I'll just put at the total. In July, the total was 873,560. In August, 893,600. And then in September, 817,323. The reason being, people are becoming more cautious because electronic law enforcement, we talk about the cameras on our roads. So either people know where our cameras are or they are complying. It's one of the two, Mr. Mayor. Here are our fatalities. Let me start with the cyclist. In July, we had 1 fatality. And then in August, on cyclists, we had 2. And then last month, we had only 1. Drivers, fatalities, we had 16 in July. In August, we had 11. And in September, we had 11. Passengers who died on our roads, we had 6 in July, and it jumps to 19 in August. But we are doing our best. I think we are on 9 right now, Mr. Mayor. Our pedestrian, that is our concern on our roads, 19 in September, August 27, and then last month 26. This is a concern of pedestrians who are working on our roads. Crashes, bumper bashing, crashes in our roads. We had 37 in July, 52 in August, and then 43 in last month. But then we have put our hotspots where we have to concentrate on, and these are you can read it for yourself. You can see which our hotspots are. Now, here are the issues. Drunken driving. I think we spoke very much about drunken driving. In July, we arrested 790. August, 1,101. September, 1,033. Mr. Mayor, here we are still over 1,000. This is a concern when it comes to drunken driving. Drugs, we arrested 6, and then 10, and then 7. Stolen goods, 13, 11, 5, and then total of 29. Assault, 7, 12, 11. It goes according to the months. For the quarter, we had 13. Robbery, 17, then 13, and then 26. The total for the quarter was 56. Firearm and unlicensed illegal firearms. We managed to get 14 and then in August, the arrest that we made is 34, and then the arrest that we made last month is 14. The total of firearms recovered, the total of arrest for the people for possession of illegal firearms, the total is 62 for the first quarter. The total of arrests for hijacked stolen vehicles is 27, 35, 24. The total is 86 that we have arrested for hijacked and stolen vehicles. So in total here, firearms we had 60. Hijacked vehicles for the quarter is 186. Ammunition is 839 for the last 3 months. So this is the performance of the department in terms of the arrest that we have made. This one, advertising, we have impounded about 50. Both trucks impounded by our bylaw enforcement, 24. Illegal connection of water in terms of Buyam Teto is 2. illegal connection of electricity, 70, flags and banners that were taken out, 256, trailers impounded, 4, Section 56 issued. These are the fines, 265. Land invasion for last month, we have done 20. We have attended to 20. 34 shacks were demolished and removed. The demarcation, that's 49 that has been taken out. In total for September, Operation Nightlife, we have done 72. Crime prevention, we have done 639. This means the roadblock roadside checks. Bad buildings, we have dealt with 18. Vehicles impounded. In total, it's 572 for last month. Corruption, cold drink has gone down. So, yeah, as you can see, we've got total of misconduct and everything is 10 for last month. So JMPD, it's going to be one of, I think, the best department when it comes to corruption. As Tahoe, well done for enforcing the law on ourselves. Now we come to verified cases. These are the cases that you see, what we do is we have established a unit that I don't accept any person just come and say, or the unit come and say, we have arrested 10 people. There's a unit that go and verify at the police station that this is the right information that we have. Drunken driving, we had 1,033 were verified at the police station. 971 paid bail between 500 and 1,500. 62 were released on SAP J496. They appeared in court. IOC cases, it means the one for the CCTV, 31 were verified, 7 still in custody, 10 paid bail, 1 case has been finalized, 13 were withdrawn. K9 cases, that's a dog unit, 35 were verified, 21 still in custody, 9 paid bail, and then 5 were withdrawn. Now, here's the burning issue. I don't know, Mr. Mayor here. We talk about foreign national arrest from 2016 to 2019. As you can see, it covers most of the issues that was presented in Parliament. The highest, this, I want to make it very clear, it is not at the roadblock. These were arrested because they committed a crime. They have been arrested by JMPD for the last 3 years. Now, the highest of them all, it's the Zimbabweans, 2,865 for the last 3 years that were arrested. Now, how do you verify it? When they go, we arrest them. Of course, we want to get the identification, and we find that they don't have. So that's where it comes in. The second one were the Mozambicans. The third one are the Nigerians at 765. Now, the crime committed by, according to our stats and according to our data, differs. For an example, you look at the crime committed by the Zimbabwean mostly is robbery, assault, murder. In fact, I can come and break it down for you here. Let me break it down because any person who wants to know about this information, we have got information at JMPD. You can come and verify it if ever anybody has got a question in this one. which I know this is a burning issue, but the people need to know. We are a transparent department. The people need to know what JMPD is doing. And for us to be able to plan when you fight crime, you must be able to have a data that assists you in terms of fighting this crime. So if we are going to hide and people get hurt and people get killed, then we wouldn't be doing our job as a Johannesburg Metro Police. So hence, we are doing our best. Mr. Mayor, we've got what we call it predictive policing. Predictive policing means you have to predict where the crime can be committed. So hence, we are being assisted by this data that we have, and we know that if we talk about hijacking, we'll be able to say, if you go to Bree Street, let's put our officers there, put an officer on the dot. That's what we're doing. Hence we have got this. Now when one look at this one, let's take Zimbabwe, that has got 2,865 that were arrested by JMPD. 853 was for under influence of alcohol, drunken driving. 478 for these 3 years was for theft. 365 for counterfeit goods. 211 possession of dangerous weapon. 196 for assault GBH. 141 was arrested for hijacking and robbery of vehicles. And 91 for murder. Now let me go to the next one. Remember, this is not from me, it's what the department has. You look at the Mozambicans. I won't go to all this, you can read at your own leisure. 1,382 for the last 3 years, 776 drunken driving, 217 assault, common assault, 122 assault GBH, 37 for possession of explosive linked to illegal mining and ATM bombing. So that's what we got. 33 arrests for theft, 33 arrests for possession of dangerous weapon, 26 arrests for burglary, business, and 24 arrests for malicious damage to property. This I'm just giving you an example. And in any law enforcement, you must be able to do what we call it predictive policing, so that you know what you are dealing with. If I go to the mall, I must be able to say, am I safe or am I not safe? So all this, we have got the data, and the people need to know, regardless of whatever it is, they need to know that their police, their law enforcement is there to protect them. And we need to share the information. We won't allow people or the community to go where it is dangerous. And we are going to put our officers in the right place at the right time to ensure that our community is protected. All in all, we had about 7,841. These are not new information. It has been already presented by the executive mayor, myself, and the MMC in Parliament. So the whole of things, you can read it at your leisure. What type of information as JMPD we have. All this differently. I think I've presented Mr. Mayor. I guess there's some other issues that anybody would like to know.
Thank you very much, Chief David Dembe. At this moment, we've reached the part of our program where we acknowledge and recognize our colleagues who have done exceptionally well through the month of September. Firstly, I'd kindly ask Executive Mayor and MMC to come to the front so we can present the certificates. The first recognition goes to Acting Deputy Director for Region C, that's Wandile Mrubata, for being the best performing DD that's attending complaints, issues of bylaws, and illegal mining in a Region C.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And secondly, it's Officer Ditele, Mawelewele, and Thomas. They're from the freeway unit. They gave chase to a stolen vehicle, cornered it in Diepkloof, and recovered 2 more vehicles. The culprit was arrested.